he cooking. He making that, huh? You making it too? Peace. 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 How y'all doing? How y'all feel? Peace. I'm gonna sit here and wrap a piece and have coffee and talk. I haven't done this in a while, and I just wanted to hop on here and just chat and get a crystal. Also, I want to show you guys the process in a slower way. I always put up my process and it be like sped through like a speed demon, because I don't, I tape it, but it's a lot of little things that happens during the jewelry making process. First, notice my fingers. I don't have nails. I don't wear acrylics or anything like that. Because I can't do yoga with any extensions or anything on top of my nails. I'm one of those yogis. I need to feel the pads of my fingers. I need to feel all of this in order to feel the asana and move properly. So, and also just not a nail girl. You can see, I don't even get my hair done regularly. So I'm just not that girl. But I notice a lot of people always ask me, do a tutorial on how to make jewelry. But y'all have like these long nails. So maybe you even figured out how to maneuver those nails and do what you want. But not me. So that's the first thing I want to address. If you have nails and you need help maneuvering that, I am not the sister to help you do that, because a sister don't even know. I ain't even been to a nail shop since COVID. And when I did go, I was getting my feet done. Hey. So I'm trying to figure out which crystal I'm going to wrap for y'all in real time. Because I want it to be smooth. You see how those are smooth? I'm going to show y'all a rough crystal. Because these are the ones that people have the hardest time with. This will be considered rough or raw. This comes straight out the ground like that, and there's no smoothing or anything. That's how it is when they pick it up. This, however, is a tumbled crystal, and they put it in a machine. They find it raw like this. Then they put it in a machine, and the machine bounces it around and heats it and cools it and all of these things. It's called a tumbler. And then it comes out smooth. That's the only difference between raw crystals and tumbled crystals. A machine process has happened to the crystal to make it more aesthetically appealing to human eye. Crystals do the same thing, whether they're tumbled or not. As a person who collects lots of crystals, I like it raw. I like my crystals raw. See? As a collector, none of these are straight out the ground. This is how they came out the ground. This is see, it's still, rock embedded in it. This is not normally what people go for when they think of crystals. They're looking for tumbled crystals. I like the raw crystals for myself personally, for my collection, because I think they are more authentic and they look more like what they are, rocks that, rock formations that have healing energy that come from the earth. But that doesn't make them better or anything like that. That's just my aesthetic. But the world's aesthetic seems to be tumbled. And this is a piece of smoky quartz. I'm gonna put my hand behind it so you can see it. Now, I'm gonna say the name of this, but honestly, my DC accent is gonna tear it up. It's rhodesite. It's that one. And then this is just a quartz point. So crystals look different depending on what humans do to them. This is a tumbled piece of carnelian. You see how gorgeous, like all of that. I don't know if you can see the sunlight. There's a variation of oranges and yellows in there that is just insanely gorgeous. All right, so I'm gonna pull out something that I already wrapped. My standard wrap is a starburst wrap. That's my standard style. Most times when I wrap a crystal, I just started doing shell wraps too. But most times when I wrap a crystal, I do a standard starburst pattern. And this is that. It's on both sides. Starburst. You see it? See how that looks? Starburst pattern. That's my style for the most part. It varies a little bit, but this is my main style that I go to. And this is the style that I taught myself. I do not... You want my coffee? I do not... I taught myself intuitively. I just listen. Honestly, I listen to the crystals. And it's going to sound a little kooky, but that's what I do. I listen to the crystals. They tell me how they want to be wrapped. Most of them enjoy this starburst pattern. Another pattern they seem to enjoy is just simple lines across. Simple lines across. So I really don't know how I'm going to wrap the crystal when I pick it up. Thanks for the compliments. Y'all are so kind. I hold the crystal and I meditate with it, and it starts to tell me in my quiet while I'm touching it, while I'm moving it around and shaping the copper, like which way to go. And I listen, and that's why I'm successful at wrapping crystals. Not because I think that I'm a good wrapper of crystals. And then, let me show you this one. This is also something that I developed as well. I don't do it as much anymore, but every now and then a crystal will come in my hand and they'll ask for it. And so I do it. Here's one. The double, see, it has a starburst pattern on the front. And then the back has this double crystal around, the double wire around it to encapsulate it and to stabilize it. That's another one that I've ended up doing a few times as well. And that helps, when you wrap the crystal, it don't move around. It's just in there. But it has the copper wire on the back as a stabilizer for the front, instead of a double starburst pattern on both sides. And you see the way this crystal was shaped, the starburst pattern on this side would have been hard to duplicate, so it was really told me to just secure it with the copper. Okay, and that's a piece of carnelian. It's in the shop, but all of these are in the shop actually. So I only wrap crystals when I feel it, right? So this morning it was like, they were like, you can wrap, so I'm gonna wrap for y'all. I'm gonna wrap. Boys in the hood ain't nothing but trouble. No, not that kind of wrap, but yeah. So I'm gonna wrap a crystal. I'm gonna wrap a tumbled crystal because people seem to have the hardest time with these. The rough crystals are easy. You wouldn't wrap anything this big. I wouldn't wrap anything this big. This would, you weigh your neck down. But why am I acting like I don't have a whole jar of crystals right here? Yeah, I have jars and jars of crystals that I wrap. Yeah, collections. Things you do when you are a crystal business. So that is a piece of blue calcite. You see how that's rough? These are a lot easier to wrap because you can feel it. Whereas this is smooth and it kind of slips in your hand. So people have a harder time wrapping these. See, there it goes right there. Because it's harder to hold on to. And when you add the copper wire to it, which is also smooth, it can be a bit of a annoyance. All right, so let me tell you what kind of tools you need, because that's the other thing a lot of people don't have. No, you need a lot of pliers. They come in, sometimes they come in a pack like Michael's or Joann's or even Amazon. If you want to give any of those people money, you don't have to. There's little small shops on Etsy you can buy all this stuff from as well. It's just going to cost you probably a little more. If you're just starting out your business, it's a lot easier to go with the big chain stores. But once you get a feel for your tools, then you can go to a smaller, store and get more tools. Because honestly, you're going to need more than one of each of these things. Because even though you're going to use this over and over, I have one. I used to have one with, I still have another one. I gave a couple of my tools away to somebody who was wanting to start their own jewelry business. And I wasn't using them. So here it is. So this is like a double tool and it's like plastic on there. This is what you start with, this plastic tool. So you can see I use this thing to death. That's the flat side. That's the round side. And this is coated in plastic so it won't mess up your metal. When you're a beginner, you need something like this. And there's also a solution you can get for these metal ones that you can dip the tips of the pliers into and it'll coat it with plastic. Because what happens is when you're messing with the copper and you're bending it, if you don't know what you're doing, you're tearing the copper up. You're denting it and scratching it, and your piece isn't going to look as nice. And when somebody gets their piece and it's all dented and scratched up, they're going to be looking at you like you stole their money. But in truth, you were just beginning and didn't know that you needed plastic coated pliers. And so there's a few types of pliers you're going to need. These are one of my oldest sets. Those are flats, and that's a little itty bitty flat. Then I have I'm trying to get some string. You know how you have a jewelry drawer and you have something get in there and it just like takes over and all your stuff get tangled in there? Okay. And these are the larger flats. Yeah, see, those are flats. I technically like the smaller flats better because this is just cumbersome. When you're like trying to work on a piece of jewelry and you're trying to get in there, it's just like these little ones, and I'm left-handed as well. So these little ones just get in there and they do things in a way, and I feel like with these, I injure the copper a little too much, and I don't like that, so I don't deal with them as often. The rounds, I like my round pliers big because this is for all the curling and the S's that I showed you on the back of the... Okay, so like this is a curving one. Like a curving, all that curving in there, this bending around here, you need these type of pliers to do that. You need a round plier to round and out your edges. Then you use the flat plier to flatten things, right? So once I rounded this out, I had to come in with this plier and flatten it, if that makes sense. You see what I'm saying? You gotta come in and flatten it. So there's a couple of different things, and this is why this is like really hard to teach on some level, because it's also, for me, more trial and error than anything. And you have to have the time and energy to be willing to put into it to see how it's going to work out. These are multiple pliers. It has a cutter, so you can cut wire with it. They're round. I like those because sometimes you only need one plier and you can do everything with those. These are a single cutter. That's a cutter by itself. It can't do anything else but cut wires. That's all it does. It cuts wires. Alright. I have a barrel one somewhere. But we're going to hop to, because I rarely use that because I don't make too much round stuff. You need to make a lot of round stuff for a barrel wire cutters. Alright. This is your metal bench. It's called a bench. It's a metal bench. And your hammer. It has two sides. One side is flat. One side bangs patterns into your copper. So you can, like that. And then this one is flat. One thing about the bench that you need to know, the piece of copper that you're going to have facing outward, that's going to frame the jewelry, that's, you know, everyone's going to look at, you're going to put that flat facing down and bang on the back of that. If you bang on the part you bang on, you don't want to put towards the front facing piece of your jewelry. Let me show you. See, that one needs to go on the inside where nobody can see the flattening. It's flat on the outside and the copper still looks pretty. But on the inside, you can see the banging. You can't hide the bang that you bang the copper flat. So the only way you can hide that is not by not highlighting that and not placing it forward. So when you frame the piece, let's frame a piece of crystal. Alright, I got a piece of moonstone here. I'm going to go with a small one because the bigger they are, the harder they are. For me. Some people might find it adverse, different. Get down, Pooh. You got to get off the table. Yes. Come on. Come play with the crystals on the floor. I don't like when you climb up on the table. Alright, so this is a piece of silvery moonstone. See that? Moonstone is divine feminine, protection energy. Just a really healing energy for women and men. If you want to get in touch with your feminine energy and be more aligned. Everybody has masculine and feminine energy, and we all need it all to be aligned. So this is the perfect stone for that. And you can see it looks like the moon. It's pretty. All right. So, and there we go. They just like to run away. All right. So, this is a 16 gauge copper wire. This one I find the most complimentary to wrap crystals with. You can use thinner or thicker ones. I don't like anything above 18 gauges to wrap. I despise it, honestly. And I really don't like anything below, I want to say, anything above 14 gauges. I'm sorry, above. Okay, so how copper wire works. Let me go back. The higher the number, the thinner the wire. The lower the number, the thicker the wire. So 16 is thick. 24, this is a 24 gauge wire. It's thin. See that? See how thin that is? And, all right. So I don't like to wrap with anything thicker than a 14 inch. That's one step above this. 12 inch for me is, I might as well just throw my money in the trash and give the copper wire, just throw the copper wire in the trash, because for some reason that just doesn't work with my hands properly. Most of my jewelry pieces are 16 gauge because that's what I like and that's what works with me. I use the 24 gauge as a support wire. As you can see, a lot of the pieces I showed you have support wiring around them. Why do I use the 24 gauge? Because it's thin, but it's also still very strong. It holds the crystal in place. It holds it in place and it doesn't allow it to shift around. Because sometimes the 16 gauge is wrapped around it, but it's not holding it in place, depending on how I wrap the piece. All right, so I like to think you need twice as much wire as it takes. I'm going to say twice. 3 times as much wire as the piece is, right? So that one. All right. With my cutters, you don't need a lot of wire to wrap pieces. You don't technically use a lot. All right. Then the support wire, use as much as you want. Try not make it look gooky and like it's too much wire covering the crystal. But you can always start the support wire over again. See, I'm gonna show you these two side by side so you can see how thin and thick that looks. All right, so now I'm doing this live, so it's the blue crystal was sodalite, and sodalite is for communication. It's like a really high spiritual crystal as well. It's like you talking to your intuitive, elevated self, or your ancestors, or your high spirit guides, however you want to say it. Everybody says it differently. And that helps you hear on a level that that is not interrupted by this time and this space, because this realm that we live in has a lot of disruption, and sodalite is one of those crystals that cuts through that disruption and lets you hear truly what you need, want, and desire. So that's like one of my favorite crystals, actually. All right, so moonstone, how am I going to wrap this? You have to decide. Are you going to go like this up, or are you going to go like that to the side? It doesn't matter, honestly. They're going to both look good. You're going to formulate, wrap the wire, not tight, but not loose, but just around the crystal, just enough gappage that you can fit this thin wire inside of it, and that you can use. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's why nobody likes to do these little stones, because they get so frustrated because they drop them all the time. And that's the wrong way. You got to remember which way you fit the crystal in, or it's a disaster. That's the right way. All right. After doing this for a while, I can kind of figure out whether or not the crystal is in the right way. So you see it? It's wrapped around. It's in there. That's the frame. That's the framework. All right, before you do anything, remember that's the front facing. You're going to lay it flat on your bench, on your metal bench. Then you're going to take your flat side of your hammer and bang it equally all around. You do one bang all the way around. That's my daughter, y'all. Then do another bang all the way around so that you can evenly flatten the copper wire. If you bang it too many times, it has a little bend, so I'm going to bang it. If you bang it too many times, you're going to have to keep reflattening it. All right, so that's good. You're going to have to keep reflattening it, because you could tell from the front whether the flatness is good. See how that is? Now you just insert your crystal in there. You want my coffee? Here, let me take one more sip. All yours, player. You're going to take the crystal, make sure it's in the correct way. Let me make sure, because I feel like that's a little off. Yes, it was. Okay. Now, it's flat in there, right? That's so pretty. And then you're going to see how that's crossed over like that? I like to, me, Zoha. I like to take that round. This is where you get your rounds from. You don't need the round. You can actually use your hand. But I want you to get into the habit of using your pliers. Your hands and your pliers go hand in hand. You should be able to do almost as much work with your hands as you can do with your pliers, because you need your hands to... There's still a little bend right there. I'm sorry. I'm such a perfectionist. All right. You need your hands to be able to do as much work. You need your hands to be pliable, right? To be movable. So, all right. So you got that. That's going to be where the necklace goes in, the loop for your necklace. Then you're going to take and put that crystal right back in there. Make sure that's not the right way. Got to turn it the right way. You can tell. All right. It's in there. All right, I bent it up a little too high now, and I see that. So I got to bend it again. Straighten it up. This copper wire is very forgiving too. That's the other beautiful thing about it. That's why I like this gauge, because it is forgiving. Unlike the higher, the 14 and 12 gauge wires, not so forgiving, honestly. If you make a mistake, that's why I was like, you just might as well just throw your money away. If you make a mistake, it's almost impossible to use the wire. With this, it's really good and pliable. And if you do it right, now you're going to take that support arm that was right there and you're going to wrap it around so that you can get your loop. And make sure that the loop is lined up to the back of the crystal so that the crystal is framed properly. It's not off-centered. All right, so then you're just going to wrap it. This is why people doing things live, right? Things you do by yourself live. All right, and you're going to use your hands and pull it as tight as possible because you want that crystal to really be in there. You don't want the wire to have too much room. I got to come back out of that. You don't want the wire to have too much room to shift around. And you're just going to keep wrapping it around for that loop. I don't like to wrap it all the way around because sometimes I put a loop on the front. Sometimes I don't, depending on. But I like to leave a little bit of it off because I don't know what I'm going to do at the end of the crystal. At the end of the wrapping to support the crystal. Maybe I'll need that front wire to support the front of the crystal. I don't know. All right, where's my support wire that I cut on the floor? All right, so your support wire, your thin wire, this is 24 gauge. You can use what you like, 22, 20. I wouldn't suggest using the 20. That's more, actually, you can wrap a crystal with a 20 gauge wire as well. I make a lot of rings with that. That's still a good, nice size wire. All right, just want to make sure that it's the only thing, right? Remembering which side you put it on, and I believe it's this side. Oh, to the front. I had it at the back. All right, there we go. All right, so that's the framework. Now you're going to take the support wire, straighten it out, make sure it's straight. I like to start at the bottom because then I can work my way around like a clock with the starburst pattern. Going to take it, secure it with your fingers, and wrap it around once. Then you take your little pliers and you're going to keep on wrapping it around until it's nice and secure, about 3 or 4 times. It really doesn't matter. At least more than twice, because you don't want something that the wire to pop. And it because this is the foundation for keeping your crystal in this encasement, this copper encasement. And then you're going to take the pliers and squeeze. You see how those are separated? I don't know if y'all can see. It's such small wire. And just squeeze them together and make them, look uniform. All right. Put your crystal back into its new home so that it can be there. Now you're going to, don't forget, we still have that wire on the back. Since this is short and I can't do anything with it other than the back support wire, I use my hands to do this. I make it into an S. A nice S shape, a snake shape, whatever. And then you're going to take your round pliers and curl that in real tight because this is going to be a part of your back support for the crystal. And you can see what it looks like. That's what it looks like. The whole frame looks like. And remember, we're leaving this out because we're going to probably use it to hold the front of the crystal in somehow. Maybe we'll use it in the starburst pattern. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll just wrap it up at the end and it really won't matter. All right. I'm going to put the crystal back in. That's the wrong way. All right. That's the wrong way. All right, there we go. That's the right way. All right, so you see how that is? It's like a sandwich. Like a little frame and then a snake sandwich. See, you're going to take that little end right there. You're going to take this wire. You know how to sew? Like needle and thread or crochet? I crochet, I sew. All those skills come in handy with wire wrapping. You're going to wrap that base of that crystal in there. And you're going to pull it as tight as possible because you do not want it to shift. I just noticed a piece of the wire on the front was not flat. That's you got to make sure that it's flat when you place them down because when a person puts on a piece of jewelry, it'll stab them. It hurts. So you see how that's hooked in there? See that? Now, take your flat pliers, close that loop up. Because now this is a part of your design to help the crystal stay in its casing. I like to do it twice. I like to do at least 2 loops into the support for the back because we don't want no drama. All right. Now you know that you are supported on the back. Now you have to decide which way you're going to go. You know that a star has at least 5 points. So start at the corner, loop onto the front of the wire. You can do that once because you already got your back. All right. Now you're going to come across the wire because you're at the corner. You're going to go to the other corner. Right? Go to the other corner. Go through the top of that corner and loop it through. Now look what you got. Your crystal is already mostly stable. You're just now working on the pattern. Right? So I like to, when I go to wherever I go towards the back, the corner, I like to go towards the back of the crystal where the S pattern is, where I want to go next. So I want to go across now. So I go down to that loop there. And we're going to go in twice because we want it to look neat. But when you come out this time, you're going to come through the front part of the wrap, the copper wrap, the flat part. Ah, come on. All right, so now I got to come through the front part. You got to find a way to get in there. Yep, so I'm in there. And also be careful with this support wire because it can get tangled and then you'll have to start all over. Because you can't use, it's not going to look pretty once you tangle it up. It's kind of hard to untangle it. All right, so let's make that supportive by wrapping again. And don't worry about making all the things tight and neat. That's what you do at the end. Now you're going to go across. Now you have 4 points on your star, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Going to go across. Go in that back of that front end of the copper wire. Marley, I'm trying to move as fast as possible. It's hard to do stuff with a kid that likes to, that loves you so much like my daughter does. She loves me so much. You can also use your pliers during this process. That could make it faster if you're not a handsy person. There you go. So we got those 2 points. Now we look at where do I want to go next? I'm over here, right? I can go up there at the back or down there. I would go up here because you're going to want to come across the top of the crystal to complete the star again. You have to be looking at this like a design because that's what it is. You're designing something. So you're going to go in go up there, do it twice, and make it nice. Because you want it to look pretty. You want it to look uniform. And you want the crystal to be supported as much as possible. That's why we have a support wire. Now we're going across that way. And I'll show you that in a second. All right. So, how many points you got? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's missing? I would say here. You would just go up from there. Going to wrap that again just to make sure you don't have any problems. See that back piece right there where you started? Hop in there. There's already some wire in there, so it's a little stubborn. But you're tenacious. You're not a quitter. Grab your pliers. Pull that little piece out of there that's trying to be stubborn and not come through. Be careful. Pliers are sharp. I have stabbed myself in the face a couple of times. Don't put your face too close to your projects. See that? Now you're going up there and you have your starburst pattern. You have a star. But before you have a starburst pattern, you don't just go over. You're going to go under all of this side over here. Under it. Under. Get under there however you can. Don't worry about it. Going under. You could go under this other side too. It really doesn't matter. You're going to go under because what you're going to do is you're going to loop through this wire and make it. See, I'm going under there. I'm going to get it. We're going to get it. We're going to get it. This is what we do. We're not quitters. All right, so this wire has been bent too much. So I'm going to cut it. It's being stubborn. We need like a straight shooter over here. So we got to push it through. Oh, man. You being so... See, this is the part where you wrap your crystal really good because you can't get your wire through. But that's okay because I'm going to do it because I do it every day. All right. I got it through the second one. Nope. Not yet. Already went through the first one. I need to get through 2 more. And this is why this is hard to teach. It's like half of this is really just sticking with it and not quitting. And let me take these glasses off because honestly, it feels like they keep me from getting to stuff. Oh, I know what I could do. Start, go back out. Let's go under that whole middle right there. I think I can get through 2. Oh, yeah. Y'all, I really like rapid crystals. I really get excited about this because people have such a hard time. Yeah, I done got through 2. Now I just got to get through that third one. I just got to get through that third one. But you see there's an opening at the bottom of that third one. So I got through the 2 hardest ones. So we're going to lift and pull our wire out of there. There we go. It's out of there. Pull it through. Be careful. Don't bend your wire because it will suck if you have to start all over. And trust me, I've had to do that. Straighten that wire out. Pull it through a little more. Don't pull it through all the way until you get through that third wire. And we are through it. We are here. We are at the promised land. You see that? We're in there. You're going to pull it through. But guess what, y'all? That was just the first time. You got to do it again. But you already did it once, so you can do it again. And there we go. We did it again. And that's the knot for your starburst. And now you're at the top, and you have your starburst pattern right there. And now you're going to go to the top of that crystal, the top, and pull the wire through. Make sure you don't twist it. Because, again, you'll have to start all over. And wrap it because you are done. You're going to wrap it about 4 or 5 times. Make sure it's at the middle. And make sure it's tight. And then I like to just, after I wrap it a few times on the front, make sure it's tight because that was a little loose. I can feel it.
It's so hot today.
See? There we go. Starburst pattern. Marley, please get down, boo. I'm coming to mess with you. As soon as I'm done with this, me and you, we're going to play trains and play Legos like you like. Okay? All right. One more time. And this is going to suffice as a tutorial for this. And now we're just going to go into the back. This girl is really... Honestly, she's like this every day, y'all. This ain't new. I don't know why I'm acting like it's brand new. So she like... all my children are like this. They like me. It's weird. I would never have been crawling on my mama. She would have knocked me down. Alright, so we're going to pull it through the back because I want to secure it on the back to make sure that we have a base at the back. That's why I made the back as a support for the crystal. There we go. I found a way to get through. And there we are. We in there. And we ain't coming out no more. Once you lift that copper up a little bit and you get a little room in there, you can go in there as many times as you like. I like to do, again, at endings, I like to do about 4 or 5 because this is it. Once I finish this is the piece. And I don't want anybody's jewelry to fall apart when they're out in the street. And I'm not there because there's nothing I can do about it. All right, so now we're going to take our cutters. I did it 1, 2, 3, 4 times. This will be the 5th time going over. You're going to cut as close as possible. Do not damage your wire. See? Now you have that little tiny piece. Take your little pliers and you're just going to fold it over. Again, if you're new at this, use plastic tip coated pliers because you're going to damage your copper. Then just go around the piece, squeezing the pieces, the parts where you wrap Marley puppy chicken. I need you to get down, okay? I'm almost done. Give me a second, okay? I know, Pooh, you just love me. All right, so we're gonna make sure the end wires are tucked as good as possible because you don't want anybody to rub their jewelry and cut their fingers. Now, all the parts go around. Any parts fold them in. Tighten it all the way around, bringing the copper like as close to the support wire as close to the main framing wire as possible. All the way around the entire piece. If any of the you don't want to shift the wires because you don't want to mess up your starburst pattern. So your starburst pattern is on the front. If you want it to be, what do you call that? Like a little squiggly. You're just going to go into the center a little bit and just turn it with your pliers. Just turn it. Don't do it too hard because you can break the copper. Just a little twisting. And you're just going to do it all the way around the starburst. Just a little twist. Just a little twist. And you get that. Let me see if y'all can see that. Now, remember we got this top piece. All right. I don't like the way this was wrapped around here. So, me, the perfectionist, I'm going to unwrap it and start over. Because I can. And we're going to go back in and wrap it as tight as possible. I like an under wrap instead of an over wrap. It was going into an over wrap. I was not feeling that. All right, so now you can tuck it all the way in because it's a little bit where it really don't need to be out. Or you can take a little S and curve it over top of your thing, over top of your starburst pattern. This is really annoying me, this piece right here. Let me go. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm kind of like super perfectionist. Again, like I said, this copper wire is kind of forgiving. So if you bend it, you can like really just pressure it with your fingers back into a straightness. That's why I love it. All right. So I started at an under, and that's why it's like acting weird. Okay. Just straighten that out real good. You got to use the butt of your thumb, like that part, to get it back straight, to get all the bumps out. All right, so now we're going to start again. Slowly wrap it around. Give yourself some grace. Every piece is different, and every piece calls for something different. All right, so then you got your perfect little S. It's wrapped all the way around. You're going to tuck that end in because you don't want, again, the person to be hurt from the jewelry. Take your flat. You can tuck it in. I don't know if this probably needs like a... No, I can... If I curl it... I feel like it needs a curl instead of a tuck. All right, so you take your rounds. And you're going to take that in and curve it like an S like we did on the back. And curve it. Then take your flats. Pull that in again because you don't want anybody harmed. There was nobody harmed in the making of this jewelry. And straighten. There's a little bump there that I don't like. You take your flats and take any bumps out. And voila. Let me turn the camera around. That's your starburst. And it's in there. It will not come out. It'll be like that until you or somebody else cuts it out and redoes it again. And that's literally how I do most crystals. That's what they ask for. It's like a little gentle starburst pattern. All right, y'all. We did that. We did it. I did my first live tutorial on how to make a piece of jewelry. I hope it was helpful. I hope y'all enjoyed it. This is a moonstone. It's for emotional balancing. It's really good with allowing our feminine energy to flow. It's a protective stone. It's also a manifesting and abundant stone as well. It's a really actually a dope stone. So yeah. If y'all wanted to purchase jewelry, my shop is on my page. Just go over there, click. It's a shipping day for me. So everybody who bought stuff all week, your stuff was shipped this morning, is on the way to you. I ship from Saturday to Saturday. So if you buy anything after 12 a.m. on Friday, you won't see it until the next week because me and COVID is not friends. And I only go to the post office once a week. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me. I know this was a little intense. And I appreciate y'all for giving me, J-Rock, J-Mar. I would, for high vibration and positive energy, Tiger's Eye, Carnelian, Green Aventurine. Yeah, they're in my shop. You can go find them. Most of my necklaces are unisex. You can tell if it's a very feminine piece. I make it very feminine. Let me show you something else I would consider feminine versus masculine. Okay, here's one. This is like labradorite and moonstone. That's like super divine feminine energy. See how girly that is with the little wrap at the top. It's a crystal on top of a crystal. So that would be a more feminine piece. Whereas, I wrap crystals. I like life. Life is good. I'm trying to find something that most men would see and say, "Oh yeah, I like that." Cause that's how y'all be in my inbox. I really like that. That's for a man, right? That's for a man. It's for whoever want to wear it. But I know y'all like to have things to say. This is for men. This is more masculine. This is a tiger's eye piece. It's in my shop. That's a more masculine piece because it's not too much going on. I know y'all like to be like blending in and stuff. And it's brown. So, yeah. Go ahead and hit my shop up if you feel so inclined. I would greatly appreciate it. Because this is what I do. Oh, I also teach yoga if you are interested in individual session. I do online. They're $15 for 45 minutes. So, yeah. That's me, yoga teacher / crystal rapper / I do stuff with women too, healing classes with women, but that's a whole nother live because that will take too much time. All right, y'all. Thank y'all. I do bracelets. It's some in the shop. Go. You know, at the top where it says Zoha Music Light, go click that. Then go click the link in my bio. Then it says purchase crystal jewelry. Then click that, and it'll take you right to my shop. Everything that is there is there. Everything that's sold out says sold out. I gotta clean my shop out since y'all bought stuff this week. But yeah, that's it. That's it, y'all. That's it. Go go see what you like over there, cause there's stuff in there. There's stuff in there. I promise you. And waist beads, ladies. I make waist beads with crystals as well. So anklets. You know, pretty much if you can put it on your body and have a crystal in it, I do that. That's what I do. Rings, bracelets. Yeah. I'll holler at y'all. Y'all stay easy. Have a happy Saturday. We're finally not in 99 degrees here in the DMV, so I might leave the house. All right, y'all. Peace.